So it's August 9th. I'm going to be with Jamie LAURIE, aka Johnny 5 of the FLOBOTS. It's really good to have you in the Providence.
It's great to be back.
It's just so great. So when you left here, when did you leave the Providence?
I left in 2003.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was about that time. And when you left, Jamie, with a real sense of like mission. We would say, you know, even spiritually a call, but a real sense of mission. Like you had this music that you were making, but that you wanted to make, and you wanted to make for a broader audience.
Right.
So could you say a little bit more about what that call? I don't want to put a word in your mouth, but what that mission is.
No, yeah, absolutely. I just finished almost 3 years as an AmeriCorps Vista, working at Youth in Action. And so I had to make a decision about what I was going to do next. And towards the end of that, I remember giving a ride home to some of the youth at Youth in Action. And there's a song on the radio, it was Ja Rule and Ashante's Always on Time. And everyone in the car was singing the song, and just it was just one of those really wonderful moments that whatever else was happening in their lives, here we were in this car driving around together, just sharing this really nice moment. And I remember having this thought, like reflecting back on my own, teenage years when I would be upset about a girl who I had a crush on, and she did not feel the same. Yeah. And I, went and sang REM's Low, 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 and just would scream it at the top of my lungs, and how influential that was. And I thought, all this organizing, all this kind of youth organizing work and youth leadership is very effective, but culture is also effective. And that was the first time I really considered that doing music could be in line with being an activist. That wasn't an indulgence, it wasn't me doing my side project, but that if I could really get inside that radio and speak outwardly, I could speak to people all over the country. And it was sort of I didn't necessarily think I was going to make it inside the radio. I just thought, in principle, that would be good. Even if I could just go to a city and perform music, I could have a great deal of influence, and basically the words would be important. And so I also just thought, this is the time in my life if I'm ever going to try doing music, I should do it now. So I went back to Denver with the decision that I was going to go and create music and try to make music as powerful as it could be.
I felt like that was really a gutsy move now, but you were already connected with Stefan and others at the time.
Yeah. So Stefan and I we met when we were 10 years old, and we've been doing creative things, comic books, raps, and all of that just our whole lives. And so when I went back, he said, "Look, let's do this together. It's a partnership." And we started performing just the two of us. Then we met Mackenzie who plays viola, and so there's the three of us and the DJ sometime.
But you had already done onomatopoeia.
Yeah, and in college I made a CD, but that really was that was a recreation. It was a personal project, and I didn't see it as activism in and of itself. I saw it as figuring out my activism, figuring out what I believed, but it didn't feel like it was real concrete steps towards change.
So in the last, year, 2 years since this kind of, from afar, it feels like lightning when I hear about you or what's going on or something like that. Has it been like a singular moment or something of all the stuff that's happened in the last year with the FLOBOTS where, there was just like a connection that you felt was deeply spiritual or political or moving in some kind of way?
There were a few. One of them a little earlier on was in 2006. There's an organization called Peace Jam, and what they do is they partner young people. They had built relationships with Nobel Peace Prize winners and then bring them into contact with groups of young people. Their idea is basically to make Nobel Peace Prize winners into rock stars. So people who are working for peace should be treated like rock stars. And so that's what they've done. This was their 10th anniversary in 2006. And they're based in Denver. So they got their board to come to Denver. Well, their board is Dalai Lama, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Bishop, Jose Ramos Horta, Rigoberta Menchú, Jody Williams, all these Nobel Peace Prize winners came to Denver. And they asked us, the organization asked us to perform at that opening event. So when we performed there, it was really the first event we've done as a band that was kind of a big benefit show for an organization like that. It also was, it was 3,000 young people from 30 different countries, and we were in the presence of these 10 Nobel Peace Prize winners it overwhelmed us. And I think every band member had some kind of a moment where it overpowered them. I remember looking at Jesse, who plays bass, and he just kind of broke down and kind of tears and was shivering and just said, like, I'm having trouble taking this all in. And I think that was a big turning point where we realized, here are these people who dedicated their lives towards peace. Here's these young people getting ready to invest in, you know, their time and energy into peace. What can we do as a band to be as powerful as we can in the force for peace?
Yeah, it's amazing.